This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace.
Hello, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries. We're your hosts. I'm Grace.
And I'm Alexis.
And it is officially October, finally. Now that this episode's coming out, we are officially now, I would say, in the thick of our Halloween arc, because it's the second Halloween episode. That counts.
Yes, that counts. It's no longer... Never mind. Keep going.
It's not the beginning. We're in it now.
Yeah.
And Alexis will be doing her first Halloween arc episode. We're very excited. I feel like we're in the spirit. We both got black on.
That was the intention.
Nail polish is already black. We're ready. Not that it's not year round, but
ominous
we're ready.
Dark hallway behind me. Like that. Honestly, anytime. So we're recording in the evening.
So it's going to be wild,
watching
y'all.
on YouTube. Yeah. Like anytime we record in the evening and it's just so dark back there, I am always just like, good Lord, what if something popped out and I only saw it through like my camera?
Right. Or
like
what if, like, because you were looking at your script, only I saw it and I was like, Alexis. And then I like showed you the recording later and
this is our idea. This is our idea for a horror movie. Nobody take this. Exactly.
Yeah. And I was like, Alexis, it's there. And every time you look, you can't see it. You can't see it on your screen.
But only you see it. Ooh.
We'd have to record 24/7 so I could tell you where it is. And like you wouldn't know the whole time.
Oh man, it would be like a combo of like paranormal activity and like It Follows, which I'm sure you've watched. Too scary to watch.
Sure, I've listened to it. You're right.
That's what I mean.
Absolutely correct.
Yes, exactly. To that podcast. Yeah.
Yes.
We're on to something here. Our idea. Don't take it. Anyways.
Trademark, copyright, patent. Done.
It's all ours. It's ours. But yes, all of that is to say that it is officially October as of the release of this episode. Our first October episode, our second Halloween episode, but our first official October episode. And yes, I'm, very excited for this spooky, ooky episode that I'm going to do today.
Okay.
And in the spirit of the spooky October and Halloween season, today's episode it's going to revolve around one of our favorite subjects, Grace, one of our favorite tangents that we ever go down.
Okay.
Cryptid folklore.
Oh,
so we're going to talk about some cryptids today.
Which one? We'll
get there. I'm going to keep you on the edge of your seat for a little while here while I kind of set the scene. But
I don't even know what show you're doing. I forgot that that was going to be the next surprise. I'm just so excited about the cryptids.
Yes. So I will tell you, I guess I'll give you a little clue here. I'll give you the subsect of the cryptid that we're going to do, but I'm not going to tell you which actual monster, folklore monster. Fair. So the particular subsect of cryptozoology that we're going to talk about today is of the large hare ape-like forest dwelling creature of sorts, if you will.
Okay, I just need to know what region we're in.
Yes, perhaps, exactly. Because, yes, we have talked about Bigfoot before on this podcast. We've talked about the Yeti before.
Yes.
Today, instead, we're not going to talk about those, but instead, ape men kind of at large. So, ape men. That is the sort of cryptid. But which one? Because there are many, apparently, worldwide, and even in the United States. I just named two others, Bigfoot and the Yeti. There's one other one, though, that has particularly been piquing my interest lately.
Okay.
But before we talk about that one that quote unquote exists in our real world, we're going to talk about a purely fictional one in one of our favorite cartoons.
Okay.
But before I name that cartoon,
oh my God,
we'll talk about this. It's Halloween. It's a thriller. This is a thriller episode.
It's a thriller.
Gotta keep you guys holding on. Yes. Now, people who are watching this or listening to this, though, they're already going to see this in the title. But so this is specifically only a thriller to Grace.
No, it's just going to say Halloween. That's what we name our Halloween arcs, unless they read the episode description.
Which, don't do that if you haven't already by this point in the episode, 3 or 4 minutes in.
Yes.
So,
oops.
Yes. The ape man that were the fictional, purely fictional, not like our real world, but the cartoon version of this ape man that we are going to be talking about today is known to be haunting and tormenting a mountain town somewhere in the United States. I don't know what state this show takes place in, but it's a mountain town that we're in today.
Okay.
And this ape man has been allegedly spotted multiple times over the past few decades in this quaint little mountain town and is believed to live deep down in a secret cave among the mountain rocks. Many
Okay.
townsfolk in this little town believe that this monster was even responsible for burning down an old mansion in the mountains many
Ooh,
years ago.
spooky.
So we got an
Okay.
arsonist gorilla on our hands.
Arsonist ape man.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And the lore of this mountain town, Ape Man, is so deeply rooted in the townsfolk. It's so mysterious and like unsolved. And it's
Uh-huh.
created so much confusion and chaos in this town and has captured the attention of the general public, all these
Uh-huh.
sightings and news reportings, such that Hollywood has officially caught on and decided to
What?
turn this monster tale into a monstrous motion picture.
Okay, also I'm like, what
Yes.
show is this? Okay, I'm so confused and lost.
Everything is working so far because I wanted to write it where you would have no clue until I dropped the bomb of what
I
show this
truly
is.
have, I'm like, it takes place in a town. Great.
Great. Hollywood is
Hollywood?
involved.
Okay, so we're in America? Great.
Yeah. And
Even
indeed, I
not.
did say we are in America, in the United
Yeah,
States of
right, an
America.
American town. Great, they have a cave somewhere deep down.
Cool. All
Great.
right. There's a monster. Okay, literally every one of our
Okay.
shows.
Right. Yeah, I'm still absolutely perplexed.
So let's talk about this monster movie that's being made in this episode
Okay.
of this cartoon.
Okay.
It's being directed by a man named John J.J. Maxwell, and it's
Okay.
being bankrolled by a film company called Epicenter Film Company and Starbright Studios.
Okay.
And the name of the movie is The Ape Man of Forbidden Mountain.
Ooh,
So
okay.
again, based exactly off of the lore of this ape man of this fictional mountain town,
Okay.
of this cartoon mountain town, I should
Yes.
say. So this
It's like
whole
Inception
crew,
happening right now, it feels like.
there's layers. There's so many layers.
Yeah.
And
The cartoon ape
in
man
the cartoon,
in the movie
The
about the ape man
ape
in
man
the cartoon. We end up back here. Okay. I'm not gonna
about
think too
the
hard
real
about it.
world ape man
Yes.
in the cartoon
From
about
our
a
world.
movie
It
about an
hurts.
ape man. It does. Bear
I
with
think
me.
I didn't think so hard.
So this whole crew, all these film studios and production companies, they've moved into this mountain town. They've got their whole cast. They've got all of these, they've got light holders. They've got, boom operators, just everything. It's a whole Hollywood operation going on here. All the props, all the costumes set up, ready to make monster movie magic.
Okay.
And of course, like I said, they are doing this on the mountain that the ape man is rumored to live in, like the caves in which on site.
Okay.
And even some of the set pieces have been constructed on top of the old ruins of that mansion that the town believes the ape man set on fire many, many years ago.
Now, did they rebuild the actual mansion?
They did, and we will get to that later. They built it. So I don't know if the inside is accurate, but I believe they built the outside to look like a perfect replica. And parts of the inside are probably at least similar to what
I have a feeling someone's going to be mad about someone
perhaps
rebuilding their fine arsonist artwork.
How many times have we seen that in some of our cartoons before?
You rebuild, they're coming back for more.
I was about to accidentally slip and say, and
damn it,
and XYZ cartoon. I know I was so close, but it's okay because I promise you, it's coming very, very soon.
Okay.
So this film crew that has all moved into town, they very quickly learn that this monster tale that they've been hearing about this ape man, may be a real life horror story. Because in the first few days of filming, multiple cast and crew members made calls to the authorities reporting sightings of a large ape-like creature lurking around the set, causing some minor damage to set pieces, but also causing like permanent trauma to anyone who witnessed him, because that would be freaking terrifying.
Yes. Also, I'm like, okay, what show actually has people calling the authorities? Like,
that's a good question.
That's going to start narrowing it down a little bit. But okay, interesting.
It might be a redirect though, now that I think about it. Because in hindsight, now that you said that, I'm like, oh, it doesn't actually usually happen in this show. And that may be the biggest clue I've given you so far.
Oh, no. Now I'm back to like 98% of our show.
Yeah.
It narrowed it down and then we just blew it back up. Okay, go on.
Eventually, all of these sightings became a bit too much for the cast, for most of the cast and almost all of the crew. to bear. And many of them walked off set and quit.
Damn.
And they were, I know, pretty traumatized. They're like, this is not in our union contracts, okay?
Yeah,
we're out of here. This is not going to be a good enough movie to risk this sort of danger.
Yeah, truly, my trauma.
But JJ, the director, John Maxwell, he was determined to keep things rolling and on schedule with this big hopefully blockbuster film. So his next idea was to try to hire a bunch of locals to fill all of the spots that had been abandoned by mostly like the crew, but probably some extras and stuff too, like background actors. But the locals are very superstitious, right? Like they're very aware of this monster tale. And so they're like, no, we don't want anything to do with that cursed film production. Like, not only have we heard about all of these reports coming into the authorities in town, but we already just don't fuck with that mountain because like,
it's literally called Forbidden Mountain. There.
Forbidden Mountain. And there's a ape-man in the cave in the Forbidden Mountain. Why would we go up there?
Right.
No,
he named it. He told us this is forbidden.
He told us the name of it. Yeah. So at this point, JJ, he's entirely out of options, but he knows he's got to keep this film going.
Okay.
So he does the very last thing he can think of doing. He calls in a group of fresh-faced, energetic, always in need of money teenagers and their Great Dane dog.
Yes! Okay! Hell yeah! Okay, I have a thought, but keep going. Reveal to
because one of these teens happens to be someone close to him, his niece, Daphne Blake.
I should have known. Hollywood.
Of course, you know,
Richie
right?
Rich.
Wealth, etc.
Yeah, wealth, rich. Got it.
And he asks if they can step in and be extras on set, both maybe with like equipment as crew members and as background actors in this movie to hopefully keep things rolling since no one else seems to want to take the jobs.
Amazing. So, wow. Okay.
That's right. Today, we're going to talk about Scooby-Doo. Where are you? We're bringing it all the way back to our roots. And this is season 1, episode 7, called Never Ape an Ape Man.
Never Ape an Ape Man? Oh, interesting.
Never Ape an Ape Man, which came out on October 25th, 1969. And there are many Halloween references in this episode other than it just being creepy Scooby-Doo and whatnot, cryptids, etc. So we'll get to those, but no rules anyway. We can do whatever we want.
And October 25th?
I wanted to talk about Scooby-Doo.
Exactly.
It came out the week of Halloween. Yeah, it is. Exactly.
Hell yeah. Halloween episode for sure.
So this
counts. I feel like we haven't talked about Scooby in so long.
It's been a while. It has. And, you know, it's always like that until we get to the end of the year arcs because this is the free-for-all. So
exactly. You're right.
We're back. Yeah.
Okay. I'm thrilled.
And it felt good. It felt good to like have the opportunity to sit down and rewatch this episode. I know we're coming home. Yeah. And I will say too, I love this episode having to rewatch it for this, mostly because of the way that like Mystery Inc. is written in it. I feel like it's like the perfect depiction of all 5 characters, like doing their usual thing, but also like having distinct personalities and roles that they play as a collective. But we'll talk more about the crime later, but it leaves a little bit to be desired on the crime end of all this episode. But like, it's a great episode for Mystery Inc. as a unit.
We usually have, you know what, this episode's about the power of friendship.
It is.
It seems
it's like the friends that they already had before they made their way.
It's about no new friends.
Exactly.
So this episode's about
keep your friends close.
Yeah.
and don't let anyone else in.
Move them away. I only want my friends here.
AKA the ape man. Move him away.
Right, ape man. Far. You can't sit with us.
Mm-hmm.
To him, just this entire episode. Okay. I'm thrilled. I'm so happy to be back with Scooby and Spooky Scooby. Yes. Take me through. I'm ready.
Oh, here we go. But gotta say, because Halloween, gotta talk about these cryptids too. Now that we know what show we're talking about, now that we know who the main villain of the show is,
amazing.
We'll pause before we talk about their weekend gig, Mystery Inc.'s weekend gig, working on a movie set. That naturally turns very quickly into them solving a mystery. Before we talk about that, the usual with them, they find
weekend.
Exactly, weekend with Scooby,
jaunt.
right?
Yeah,
right. So. Before we do that, we'll talk about a real life, like actually in our human, not cartoon, back to our world. So uninception yourself.
Wait, really fast. I'm so sorry. Yes. I was at Ren Fair this last weekend, and there was somebody dressed up head to toe full Scooby-Doo costume, and then the person they were with was absolutely a medieval Shaggy. Like, they looked like a ranger, but had like the Shaggy colors. They just had like a ranger, like leather armor kind of stuff, but like the green shirt and like the brown bottoms, and like walking around with Scooby. And I was like, this is medieval Scooby and Shaggy. And it was incredible. Okay, continue.
But like regular modern Scooby-Doo costume, like a man just literally in a Scooby-Doo.
Just a full head to toes. Like giant hood, everything. Yeah.
No notes other than that was perfect. It was incredible. Those two people have excellent taste and just everything.
Chef's kiss.
Everything.
Exactly.
I love it.
Anyway,
also, I love how the Ren Fest in some places becomes kind of that, like, it's like a cosplaying, but with a twist sort of thing that I love, like with a medieval twist. Yeah, I wore a freaking Mandalorian costume to Ren Fest one year. That was something. So, yes, we're going to talk about a real world, our world, not cartoon Scooby-Doo world, ape man that's been allegedly haunting folks right here in the United States of America for hundreds of years. And like I said, I've been reading about this one lately, mostly for this episode, but like I'd heard of it in the past because you know us, if you're not new to this podcast, we love cryptids. So I've always wondered, I got to learn more about this, especially because it's around where I've got some family. So one of many such ape men that exists in the United States is known as the skunk ape. And this...
What?
It's not a hybrid skunk and an ape. It's just a...
That was my first question. I was like, does it have a white stripe down the back?
Ooh, that would be a nice little added touch if like any skunk apes listening now want to maybe find a stylist, get some dye, run to CVS.
Also,
think
subscribe.
About it. We'll look cool.
Rate,
like, follow, rate, review, subscribe. Let us know if I get your history right here. So the skunk ape is a large and hairy human-like mythical quote unquote creature that is believed to inhabit the forests and swamps in Southeast USA. And it is often compared to or called the cousin of Bigfoot, which is funny because in my last episode, I talked about the cousin of the Loch Ness Monster. So I'm clearly just on a cousin like cryptid kick right now. Cryptid cousins,
Yeah, cryptid cousins.
That'd be a fun show. I feel like there's something in there. Ours, we call
trademark.
it. We're so greedy.
It's Halloween. Give me the fucking candy. It's the holiday season. Holidays are all about greed. Let's go.
Exactly. Gluttony. It abounds. So, in an article written in October 2024, so just last October, the writer Helen Bradshaw in an online outlet called Garden and Gun, she describes the skunk ape as, quote unquote, a uniquely Floridian cryptid occupying the diverse wilderness between the Everglades and the Panhandle, while somehow understanding that the human-made Florida-Georgia border is where its domain ends.
Hey, you know what?
It's read a map before this.
He's not going to get on that the Georgian cryptid's property. He'll get shot off right off.
There's a line. Exactly. There's a line. There's territory. This cryptid
you never heard of
real.
The cryptid border wars? Stay clear.
The great cryptid border wars.
He's not trying to reignite those.
It took so many monsters out.
I'm just immediately like, it's in Florida. Uh-oh.
Yes, so not only is this a cryptid, Grace, but it's one of our favorite things, a Florida man. A Florida ape man.
Honestly, both. That's the most dangerous man in America.
You should be scared.
Not on purpose,
especially with
but
some
out
of the things I'm about
stupidity.
to tell you about it. Out of its own stupidity. It did this to itself.
I'm really ready to hear about this. Okay.
So the skunk ape is commonly described as a bipedal, so walking on two legs, 2 feet, human or ape-like creature that's approximately 5 to 7 feet tall, so a little bit smaller than Bigfoot.
Okay.
And it's covered in like blotched reddish brown and sometimes black hair. Okay. And it has the name skunk ape because it has a very foul odor that reportedly resembles that of rotting food or garbage or like rotten eggs, methane, like decaying
That's just
meat.
mean.
Yeah, but I mean, if that's what it smells like, then sorry. I mean, what do you want him to do? Call it the flowery ape? What is it? The garbage ape?
It's cousin. Big hand ape.
I feel like in the cryptid world, like cryptid monsters or creatures, that would be so offensive to be like, I'm so much more than Bigfoot's cousin.
You're
Bigfoot doesn't smell nearly as bad as I do.
Yeah, all you are is a smell. That's it. You're so much more than just a smell.
Oh, the skunk ape is much more than a smell, as I will tell you.
I'll think of a new name
soon.
for him.
Don't
that's
worry.
Not so mean as you tell me more about him.
Well, I'm glad that you asked. I'll actually give you a lot of the other names that the skunk ape goes by.
Okay.
Yes, it does have a variety of nicknames. Skunk ape is just the one that's stuck for the most part.
Okay.
And some of those others, this first one isn't really a good substitute, but it's the stink ape. So that's basically the same
well, that's
thing.
better than skunk is better than stink.
Yeah, skunk
I
is better
skunk
because
more.
like skunks are cute still. Like and they don't always smell bad. So I'd be like, like your first thought when I said skunk ape was, does it have a white stripe on it? Because that's the most noticeable thing about them most times that you see them. Anyway, some of the other nicknames are Shawanoki. We'll talk more about that one in a second.
Ooh, okay.
The swamp monkey. That honestly seems like maybe, but a monkey is not the same, cool. Right? Is that or no? Yeah.
You think the cryptids are paying that much attention to the science, Alexis?
I want to believe so, but that is a very valid point.
Are like hammering in on like
genus, the etc. or whichever it is.
Right. Yeah.
The phylum, I don't fucking know.
I'm not sure.
Anyways, other names are the Swamp Man, which I think is already taken by DC Studios, so they can't use that.
I was going to say by DC residents.
Also that. The Swamp Monster and the Barden Booger, which I don't know. I think Barden is like a name of a town or something somewhere in Florida. So those who believe in the skunk ape's existence argue that it was the Seminole Indians and other indigenous tribal groups of Florida that actually kind of originated such tales because they have long had legends of similar creatures, even like long before European settlers arrived.
Cool. Yeah.
And as I was reading through this part, I was like, good Lord, this is again 2 weeks in a row where I'm like talking about cryptids that actually might have just been based on Native American, Indigenous American folklore. So
as like
it's now making me revisit almost exactly. It's like all of these sort of like or like supernatural and
like
cryptozoological things
from like Pacific Northwest tribes. Yeah.
And it makes me think about some things differently, like about the way that these stories spread among like European colonists and everything and settlers.
As like a
where
horrible,
it was probably
scary thing versus
exactly like don't go there, which we'll talk about in a second. Like don't go there. You don't want to see this thing that's back there. It'll hurt you to like almost protect their land, like the natives' land and like their areas or things where they didn't want Europeans to colonize and to take and destroy. Anyways, cryptozoology enthusiasts claim, and we're going to talk about that a little bit right now, actually, that the term Shawanoki of the Miccosukee language refers to a legendary ape-like creature. However, other reports suggest that this interpretation is mistaken and that the word instead refers to turtles or other established aquatic animals.
All right. Well, those are a huge difference here.
Huge difference, but that's what made me think like, okay, imagine if you're European settlers, you're coming onto this Miccosukee land and they're just using this word like Shawanoki, like don't go there. Like, no, don't go there because they're just saying like, don't mess up our turtles and like,
don't fuck with our turtles,
exactly.
Please.
But the settlers who don't know their language are like, a monster? They're saying that something dangerous is back there. And so like the natives think that or know what they're actually saying is like turtles and aquatic animals, but the settlers interpret that as, oh my God, that's the name of some monster. We can't go back there.
We huge, giant monster, which was also often like a settler, like stereotype of like also native peoples to be like just almost this completely other human kind of thing. And all of the settlers and colonizers being like, it must be this horrible thing.
Right, and then spreading that along until it becomes a story among, and travels through time and through generations,
Right, and it's like, hey, why don't we just call the tribe right now and just ask them, does this mean...
Yeah, and just ask them.
Mean turtle?
Yeah. Well, and it's funny that you said that because I did... I feel like I did way more research on this subject than like any other thing that we've talked about on this podcast. I had so many tabs open, so many different articles and like like encyclopedia articles. Even there's a lot of information out there about this ape man or the skunk ape. So apparently, one of the things I read, there was actually like excerpts of an interview from a Creek, I believe, woman who lived in Florida. And she was actually explaining like how she interpreted the term Shawanoki.
Oh, cool.
And she said it was like turtles, aquatic animals, and like some of that, like,
that's just,
like this
like,
sort of
this one of these things is
so
not like the other.
And at all. It either means that or it means ape man, like hairy creature, like they're
or it means
very,
like
very different.
White people being racist and like wanting to steal some land. There's no in between, and basically. They're like, no, we're just telling you to watch out for the turtles in there, and please don't take the turtles.
Like, please don't. Yeah, like please, if you're going to go back there, don't build anything there or take anything out of there because like we that's important land.
We're protecting our turtles here.
Yeah, exactly. Skunk ape?
Monster?
Ape man?
Skunk ape.
Which actually, that name didn't come around to the 1800s, but like would be hilarious.
I like that being the immediate jump.
Yeah. Skunk ape.
What?
So,
wow.
But there's more. So additionally, cryptozoologists have made additional unsubstantiated claims.
Okay, tell me about them.
Shocker.
Tell me.
That Seminole and Muskosuki, I believe, native culture includes stories of a foul-smelling, physically powerful, and secretive creature called Esti Kapkaki, a name which roughly translates to furry, tall man or hairy giant. Again, those are like unsubstantiated claims from cryptozoologists. I'm not sure who
name people Seminole are still here. We could just call them.
Like we could just ask them and,
we just go ask
see.
The tribes.
And for that one, I unfortunately did not see any interview transcripts from any Seminole natives on that one. So I can't even imagine
everyone was like,
where they got
I'm not even going to bother answering that question. If you have
just
to
made
ask,
up words.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah. So after the arrival of European settlers, though, the first like mainstream account of the skunk ape was in 1818 in a small Florida town that is now called Apalachicola, which now has a population of like less than 3,000 people, maybe like 22,000 to like 2,500 or something like that. So very small now. So I imagine it was even smaller then.
Yeah.
And this was when town newspapers reported on a quote unquote man-sized monkey raiding food stores and stalking fishermen along the shores of this town.
This is a bear?
Put a pin in that, which I mean is basically the answer to all of these ape man cryptids. Basically, is you just saw a bear from far away, like Sasquatch, Yeti, basically all of them.
I feel dumb for not knowing if there's bears like in the Everglades, but I feel like there's
we'll get to that.
Thanks.
There
Thank
are
you.
yes, there are lots of black bears in the Everglades. Which black bears, the skunk ape is black, reddish.
Oh my god damn it! You're right.
We'll get to that.
Okay, I'm ready.
Alleged sightings of the skunk ape have occurred for many years, but such reports were particularly common during the 1960s and 1970s. Like there was a huge spike in sightings and reportings to even like the legit authorities.
Oh, okay.
So most of these were coming from people who spent a lot of time in the forest and in the swamplands and like in the Everglades areas, like Boy Scouts or tourists or hunters or campers. But there were a lot of sightings. Nonetheless, a lot on Wikipedia and a lot of others that you can find if you just like Google. So we'll read through just a few of them, a few of the biggest hits,
highlights.
if you will.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So in 1929, an alleged sighting occurred at the famous and then recently constructed Perky Bat Tower at the Florida Keys. And I honestly think that this is kind of like the big sighting in Florida history. Like there have been so many others, but this was like like there was the one in 1818, but this one I think is the one that like really captivated people. Yeah.
Okay.
So what happened in 1929 was that there was a tower being built by a man named Richter Clyde Perky, ergo the name, the Perky Bat Tower. And again, this is in the Florida Keys, so South Florida. And this guy, he was a fish lodge owner, and he wanted to control the mosquito problem that he was having around his lodge in the lower Keys. So specifically, he intended for the tower to be a roost for bats that would then eat the mosquitoes, which were causing problems, which were spreading malaria, etc. And I Googled a picture of it. It almost does look like a chicken coop if it were a tower rather than just like a, flat land sort of building. Like it's a wooden tall tower that's kind of like a, what do you call that? Not a parallelogram shape, but I don't know. It's a four-sided.
I'm thinking a big spire situation here because that's what makes it more spooky.
It's more boxy, but sure, spire.
I'm making it Halloween
spooky in your mind with bats all hanging out.
Exactly. I'm like, this is a Halloween episode.
Yes, in so many ways.
Yes.
However, almost as quickly as the bats were put into this tower, they supposedly flew away and never returned. So his plan did not work.
I mean, you can't make them stay.
You can't chain them down. You can't hold them down.
Yeah.
Like if a bat has a choice between like super thick, dense trees and like this random tower that's in the middle of nowhere, then
you're in the Everglades. Yeah.
Now, unless, and I guess in 1929, I'm not sure what kind of like technology they had to do this, but you'd have to put like lights around it too to attract bugs to it so that bats want to eat around there or something. I don't know. Or some sort of
this man just built a tower and bought some bats and was like,
and see, it'll work. And I think that the knowledge of bats back then was a little low. Yeah. And so, that leads me to have some theories about this alleged sighting.
Oh, right.
We'll get to that in a second because some locals and witnesses, they believe that there's more to the story, that it wasn't just the bats flying away, that, oh no, Richter Clyde Perky, and I forget the name of the man who designed this thing for him, and like the bat scientists that helped study it and for him, and this whole team, they couldn't have gotten this wrong. This had to be something else. They reported that an unknown ape-like creature was drawn to the construction site of this tower. And literally on the day that it opened, on the day that the bats were put inside of it, on the night, that same night, the ape creature, he inspected that bat tower. And shortly after it had been stocked up with those bats, like I said, he just shook that tower nice and hard, driving all the bats off before running off into the woods. I don't think he even knocked it over. Like, I'm pretty sure it didn't collapse or anything. It just, the bats were gone. So they're like, oh, the ape man must have come here and shaken those bats out. Because there's no way we got our science or our theory wrong about those bats.
Wrong. Or
be a monster.
Even like if it's a monster, he came in and scared them away. He shook it. Maybe
he shook it.
Perky was just like pissed that like the architect and like the builders did a bad job. So he was like, yeah, it's so shaky. This ape man shook it.
He shook it. Could you believe it?
God,
really?
Don't hire them.
Man could shook it. Yeah, they're so bad. This was his way of getting out of a contract.
Yeah, exactly. He's getting his money back.
Like, it didn't even work. It didn't even work.
He was able to shake it. God. Yeah, this is definitely a scam.
Yeah, so I think so too. A little dubious, but I guess there were multiple witnesses to it. Now, my question is, who were these witnesses? Because it would be funny if it was literally like the three people in charge of creating this thing. Like that would just be so funny, but I could not find a list of the actual witnesses of that event. But that is like the story that every source you go to, that's like the first story basically that you read about the skunk ape of South Florida. But a couple other quick stories. In 1942, a man in Suwannee County, which is like way north in Florida, basically on the border, the Florida-Georgia border, so the opposite side.
Okay.
A man there reported a similar creature rushing out from the brush line while he was driving down an isolated road.
That sounds fucking terrifying.
Like legit, it gets worse too, because this guy says that the monster or the creature grabbed onto his vehicle and like beat on the running board and the door. So like the side of it as he was like running along the car for half of a mile before just like backing off and running off into the woods or whatever.
That's not
absolutely not.
No, absolutely not. I would, I don't even know what I would do.
I don't know either. But again, this was just one man. So I think it says he was driving alone. There weren't any other cars around him. So no witnesses.
Sounds so
scary. Did it happen? I don't know, but it sounds absolutely terrifying if it did.
If it did, that's fucked up, skunk man.
No, thank you. But we'll go back down to Southeast Florida and back down near the Everglades, where in the 1970s, two Palm Beach County sheriff's deputies named Marvin Lewis and Ernie Milner reported that an ape-like creature stalked them through a grove before they shot at it with their firearms.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so sheriffs, I mean, like, I don't know, they gotta be... Like, there's got to be also, some believability there, but I guess there are other theories I could think of as to how.
But when you also say grove and like Everglades, that immediately to means like you can't see shit. So that sounds also so scary.
Yeah, true.
Like the Everglades definitely
something.
Me. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it is on my bucket list to visit them, but definitely during the day.
Safely.
Yeah. And like safely on one of those real cool like airboats or whatever.
Exactly.
But so these two sheriff's deputies, they reportedly followed a trail of footprints where they recovered hair snagged on a barbed wire fence line that had been pushed down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And later in from 1971 to 1975, a large string of sightings occurred in Broward County, which is like where Fort Lauderdale is, just south of Palm Beach and West Palm Beach County, or Palm Beach County and West Palm Beach, the city. And like the surrounding areas. So we're all just like South Florida between Miami and Palm Beach, basically. Multiple eyewitnesses around Fort Lauderdale reported nocturnal encounters with a 5 to 7 foot ape-like creature with dark reddish or black fur. And these events were heavily covered in newspapers, both in local and in other Florida cities, like in Miami, like I said, basically that whole like South Florida stretch down there. And these articles actually, so like these sightings and the articles that came from them from 71 to 75 is basically where people started calling this thing the skunk ape. Like, and that's how the whole state, And so like, since this is happening in like the biggest cities in Florida, basically some of them, it's like, all right, now everyone in North Florida is starting to call it the skunk ape and everything too. And that's kind of like when the name came around. Yeah. Okay. So reports in these like in the Fort Lauderdale area alleged that the skunk ape had invaded homes, stalked people, and killed several of a farmer's livestock of animals. Not great still, but no humans. Oh my God, that would be horrible.
I was like,
but
Florida,
still
you have
scary.
A serial killer.
Yeah, well, because the animals that allegedly were killed were a horse and a bull, so big ass animals.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So the local police department investigated.
Sorry, a black bear is not taking down. I mean, I guess maybe could. But like black bears are way more peaceful than that.
As we talked about in your last episode, last week, right?
They'll break into a
few weeks ago,
but like they don't want to fight you and kill you.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, which is also interesting. I love how we're building arcs now of our episodes.
I know.
Where, like, each episode is like another bit of information that's relevant to the next episode. I did cryptids. Yeah.
Amazing.
So the local police department investigated a lot of these sightings deeper after one law enforcement officer reported striking the skunk ape with his car.
Oh.
So eventually... But I guess it ran off still. Wasn't a hard enough hit because it still ran off. So at this point, I think the community had enough. And they did what a good community always does in times of danger, Grace. They collected together and they formed posses in an effort.
Okay, so we're back in the Scooby-Doo episode now because that's exactly what the fuck they do.
Exactly.
Because now this has become Scooby-Doo in real life.
Exactly. And
sorry, what year was this? The 70s?
Yeah, this is like 71 to 75, so probably getting closer towards like 75. Yeah,
it's up to.
It's crazy. So,
good posse.
They obviously formed these posses, straight out of Scooby-Doo, which was on the air by then. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? At least was. They formed them in an effort to locate this alleged creature. But over all the years and all of the reported sightings and encounters, no body or evidence was ever found or recovered, or any sort of like DNA proof that this thing exists. Nonetheless, sightings do continue to the present day. Okay. And at least, so there's an interesting statistic on Wikipedia. I found this that says 48 out of the 67 counties in Florida have reported sightings of the skunk ape since 2010. So in the last, so in the last 15 years, 48 out of 67. So more than 2/3, like almost 3/4 probably. Or, yeah.
Florida.
That's crazy. What's happening in Florida?
Also interesting that all those sightings were in the 70s. And didn't you say this was the original Scooby-Doo? So 1969-ish, 68-ish?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Did some kids see this episode and then go into the Everglades and then call his mom?
Like something else.
Saw something scary that he maybe saw.
It was a black bear that he was maybe he was out there smoking a little bit of the devil's lettuce and was a little out of his mind. And
he was
saw
trying
a black
to be
bear
like
thinking
Shaggy.
It was something else. Yeah,
he thought it was the monster from the show Shaggy was on.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
You know, I think that cartoons are just too violent. We gotta turn cartoons off so that our kids aren't out here lying, committing crime and whatnot.
Lying about monsters.
Yeah.
Oh.
But in spite of all of these eyewitness accounts, critics obviously strongly dispute the likelihood that the skunk ape exists. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's always got to be critics. Because, like I said before, no definitive evidence of a skunk ape, either physical or genetic, has ever actually been found. Despite the abundance of individuals who deliberately search for it and all of these other cryptids that they go out looking for, like there's Bigfoot and Sasquatch hunting groups that literally focus on apemen. They've gone to the Everglades many, many times. There's all sorts of groups in South Florida that have gone out. There's those posses from the 70s
They're still around. They've been wandering. That's its own horror movie. Those posses have been wandering the Everglades since 1975. They've never been seen again. They're still out there. I know it.
Horror movie.
The ghost posses.
Yes. But many skeptics, they do argue that, like you said, Grace, the alleged sightings of the creature are most likely of black bears. Because, yes, there are many black bears in Florida, particularly in the Everglades. And the black bears found down there, like many other black bears, I'm pretty sure, are capable of walking on their hind legs.
Yeah.
And, you know, if a black bear's standing up on its hind legs, like a bigger one might be like 5 feet tall or, you know, somewhere between 5 and 7. But also if you're seeing it from a distance, like you don't really know. You can't quite measure, or if it's standing kind of up on an elevated place or something.
You're probably scared. You're gonna be your mind's gonna be a little skewed. Yeah.
Right. And of course, it's not uncommon for bears to harbor a stench since they feed on like dead animals sometimes, like carcasses, and they scavenge through trash and everything. And like they don't bathe because they're bears, so they just kind of stink. So Nonetheless, the skunk ape continues to undergo periods of renewed interest, mostly when new sightings are reported, which I'm sure every now and again they still are.
Yep.
And for those who are particularly interested in learning more, you can actually take a trip down to South Florida yourself, probably what one of those posses, those search posses turned into. You can take a trip either online or in person to the Skunk Ape Research Headquarters, which is... It's a whole thing. I looked it up on Google Maps. Next time I'm in South Florida, I absolutely might go. I wish I would have written it in here. But it is located in Okeechobee, Florida. Again, it's called the Skunk Ape Research Headquarters. Now, it is a tourist attraction. They call it that themselves. It's got a lot of fun, just like skunk ape themed stuff, you know, merchandise, all of that. But it is also a site dedicated to those wishing to pursue serious research. So I do think they have like a lot of written stuff on the skunk ape, and it might be kind of like a pseudo museum too, where you can actually like learn a lot more about it. But next time I'm in South Florida, I'm for sure gotta go check it out. I gotta
literally
see.
Have to go.
The hours looked a little restrictive, kind of, but I'll check back and I'll figure out. And if I go, I will report back on this podcast.
Yes, you absolutely have to.
And that is the story of the skunk ape of Florida.
I've never heard of
Bigfoot's cousin.
Mm-hmm. I'm amazed. I'm blown away. I learned that there were bears in the Everglades.
Among many other things.
I'm thrilled by this I learned something new this weekend, and I'm thrilled about it.
There you go. And it's all because of Scooby-Doo. Like, what better thing could you ask for? What better thing could you ask for? You know?
Truly.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't wait to also deep dive I know I shit talked a lot of it because that's what I do, but, I'm excited to also deep dive into it as soon as we hop off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're going to love it. Yeah. And, what I haven't done is, like, seen footage of it. Like I didn't look up any like video evidence or see if there was. I just did strictly reading and like Google searches. But also, again, there is no evidence of it. So like I don't think there is actually a legit picture of it. But
video,
if in our deeper dive we come across something, that would also
we'll report back.
That would be intriguing.
Yeah, if you've seen the skunk ape, let us know.
But all right. So that is the real world skunk ape. We'll go back now to our cartoon Ape Man back in this mountain town.
We'll get our posse and we'll go from the Everglades to Forbidden Mountain. Come on, posse.
We're going all the way.
Let's go, posse.
Let's go. Now. So, Mystery Inc., they've arrived on set by now. They're ready to help Daphne's uncle JJ make a little extra cash to fund their mystery-solving side hustle. And while they're excited to be on a real-life movie set, which is like very cool to them, and like seeing the trailers and all the props and the set pieces, they also can't help but feel a bit creeped out by how empty and eerie everything is, because they know that all of these crew members and very few cast members, a lot of crew members have left and very few cast members remain. So it's basically just like a wasteland in a sense there. Just town. Like only, like this massive film set with like literally maybe 5 other people on it outside of Mystery Inc. So the kids learn pretty quickly from JJ that the only remaining cast members are the film's leading lady, played by a young budding actress named Candy Mint. And
they didn't even try. Okay.
Not at all. And the movie's Ape Man, played by the movie's primary stuntman, Carl. He didn't get anything clever. Or
no last name.
They tried less with Carl than they did with Candy Mint.
All their creative energy went to Candy Mint. Carl.
Carl. And the first scene that the kids are able to watch from behind the camera is an action scene involving these 2 characters. Obviously, since there's like no one else.
They're the only characters.
That's it. Which thank God, because it sounds like they're the 2 most important characters, maybe.
True.
If, like your Ape Man and like your damsel in distress, lady, I guess. Yeah.
True.
So in this scene, Candy Mint must cross a rickety wooden like rope bridge that goes, between like kind of 2 mountainsides, or like maybe it's like over a really deep crevice in a mountain or something. So think of like Indiana Jones style.
Yeah. I'm just worried because you said rope bridge, and we know Skunk Man loves shaking things.
I'm so glad you said that, because I thought, pens.
Buildings, any type of man-made architecture.
Yeah.
He's gonna shake it.
He's gonna shake it. He's gonna look at it and say, I don't like the way this is built, and shake it to prove to you that it was poorly built.
I can shake that.
I'm gonna shake things up a bit. That's what I do. Ape Man, Skunk Man, or Skunk Ape, I mean, all alike. You gotta shake it out, shake it off, and shake it up. So JJ calls action. I guess I didn't finish describing the scene. So she's crossing. It's okay. Because I'm so glad that you said that, because it's true. Like, you called what's about to happen, but we'll get there in a second.
Take me there.
On the other side of this bridge, as Candy Mint's character is crossing, like on her adventure and also kind of like escaping this Ape Man, we will find, though, that the Ape Man is waiting for her on the other side, threatening to chase her back across. So she's kind of on like the scary bridge. She's trapped. Which way do I go? Oh my God.
Carl Ape Man's on the other side?
Carl Ape Man, yes.
Okay.
So we think. So Jay...
That's why I asked. So we call Carl. It's Carl over there.
Carl. So JJ, he calls action on the shot. And Candy immediately jumps into character. And I just gotta say, too, she's dressed in like... It's almost like Tarzan rags, but like a 2-piece.
I was going to say, I was picturing, like the Godzilla tattered.
Exactly. Yeah. Like tattered rag, tan, whatever 2-piece. And so she's fearfully crossing this old rickety bridge, and she's keeping a close eye on her surroundings and the scene. And JJ then signals for the Ape Man to come into frame. And we do see just that. On the other side of the mountain and on the other side of the bridge where Candy is headed, a large gorilla standing on 2 legs roars and beats its chest. The ape then grabs the ropes that are holding the bridge together, like grabs the sides of it. And yeah, shakes them very hard, just as you predicted, and just as the skunk ape in Florida did.
Yep, we should
saw that man-made structure and was like, "Fuck this! Get this
Not
out
today.
of here! Not today! This isn't up to code, and I'll prove it to you."
Right? I actually, I'm the inspector. Can it withstand my shake? No. All right.
This is a small mountain town. No one else would hire.
Yeah.
Citation. Which is why everyone is scared and runs away from him.
Exactly.
Like they know they're about to get a ticket.
Yeah, they're like, I can't afford another one of these.
Yeah.
He's such a hard ass.
So Candy, her acting kind of like fades away and turns into real panic and fear as she and JJ shout.
That's why he's so smelly. People do when they see him.
I would panic and fear too. What is happening?
Too much.
What did I eat? No. So JJ shouts at Carl, or who he thinks to be Carl, to ease off and calm down a little bit. Like, hey, bro, that's not how we ran through this. That's not what's on the script. You're supposed to just roar and pound your chest. Exactly. And he's also kind of like in a dig at Carl, too. He's like, God, this is better acting than Carl has ever given us. Like, shit. Yo, you better hope Carl didn't hear you say that. Yeah, I know, right? Like, you better hope Carl's not like accidentally standing right behind you. Like, yo, I heard
you're about to lose your stunt man, and also do you have a bigger problem too?
Everyone else here, like you're about to get sued. So, yes, he sees that this ape man is a little bit more in character than Carl tends to be. And he's also noticing that the ape man is not responding to human commands or speaking in any like intelligible language. He's just like roaring, pounding his chest. So at this point, JJ realizes that this ape is not his ape. This is not his ape man. This is not Carl. And so he finally tells Candy to get the hell off of that bridge, run back towards them, and come to safety.
Yeah, what a mix-up.
A big mix-up, a dangerous mix-up.
Yeah.
The ape man does try to like run over the bridge and approach the crew, but Scooby is like super, super brave in this episode, and he takes on like full like guard dog status and is ferociously barking at the ape man and like runs across the bridge towards him and actually starts to chase the ape man back across the bridge, but also manages to like make the ape man fall off of the other side of the mountain and like down the crevice in the mountain.
Whoa, Scoob. Good boy.
And the bridge stays intact. So it sounds like the ape man was wrong all along. This bridge is up to code.
Up to code, baby. The inspector, the builder, architects on the other side, and the engineers are like, yeah.
Told you.
That's what
Don't worry, JJ. The movie's not going to be shut down because of us.
Oh, right. You have a lot of other problems, but it's not this bridge.
It's not that bridge. Yeah, 99 problems and the bridge ain't one.
Yes.
So Candy at this point, she's done. She's like, okay, listen, I've heard about these reports too from everyone else on the crew. She walks off set basically saying, I'm not taking this anymore. My budding career in Hollywood is not worth dying over. Yeah. Like, what good is it if this thing kills me or gets me very injured? Like, she could have easily fallen into that crevice. Like, she was shaking pretty hard up there.
Yeah.
And JJ at this point, he's out. He's at a loss. He doesn't know what to do. So he and the teenagers, him and, our gang in Mystery Inc., they all reconvene to figure out how they can somehow save this movie.
Yeah.
And JJ, at this point, he also realizes, like, shit, it isn't just about the movie being shut down. There's also one other thing here. That wasn't my stuntman. I think Carl is missing. Like, we need to now find Carl. Yeah, like, we also now have a missing person report on our hands. This is even more cursed than it was 2 seconds ago.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah,
they have reason to think that, like, okay, maybe that ape man took him, like that monster took him or hurt him or something. Like either way, we've got to find Carl. So the gang follows JJ to Carl's trailer to see if there's like any trace of him there, if he is still there, or if there's like any clues as to where he could be. Yeah. And as they're rummaging around through the trailer, which seems pretty empty to them at first, they do come across this like deep trunk, like a chest sort of trunk that, for like storage and stuff in the trailer. And they start to hear noises coming from it, like muffles and like tapping sounds.
Okay.
So they go and they open up this trunk in this trailer and they find Carl inside.
Okay.
In the ape costume, but without his mask on.
Oh, interesting.
And he's like confused. They pull him out and ask him like, what in the world is going on? Why are you in this crate?
Yeah.
And he tells them that as he was getting into costume, some big hairy animal busted into his trailer, grabbed him and stuffed him away in that trunk.
Damn, that's scary. Okay.
Which would be, I can't even explain how terrifying it would be. Like, I can't. So many things that you don't expect to happen happening there.
Including ending in the trunk.
Yeah.
That's really a plot twist.
For extended period of time. Like, it wasn't like he was in there for 30 seconds, like he was quickly able to bust out. Like, it could have been like 30 minutes, an hour. Yeah. Shooting scenes, running over lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this point, JJ tells him that like the ape man attacked the set again. And Carl was like, ape man from the old legend. And at this point, Carl realizes that it was probably the ape man who shoved him away into this trunk. Yes. Yeah. So JJ tells Carl that like they're trying to put an end to all of this. And like, if you just give me a few more days, like we'll figure out this whole, what the hell is going on with this whole ape man thing. But Carl, he's like, yeah, no, I'm out too. Like,
I was just assaulted.
I just woke up in a trunk.
I just woke up in a trunk that I did not put myself into.
Yeah.
Nothing here.
I'm out.
Yeah.
For me. This was not, again, covered by my union contract.
No,
this was not typically falls under stunt work. The camera's not rolling. I'm not doing a stunt.
I didn't agree. I didn't rehearse this. I didn't practice this. No choreography. No.
Okay. Bye-bye. So Carl, he was the last person now. Like, there are still a few crew members left, but Candy Mint, she just walked off. Carl has walked off. There are no actors anymore. So JJ tells the teenagers that he's actually going to have to withdraw their job offers as extras on set because this shit looks like it's about to shut down.
So now the kids take the case.
Need more money. Exactly. Yeah. So Freddie, he's a businessman. Ooh. He shifts his perspective and he counters here saying like, well, listen, since you can't pay us to be, extras, instead, how about we solve this mystery for you? Happen to be pretty good at it. And he tells them that they promised to figure out these ape-man sightings and that they will not let his film fail. They're like, oh, we're going to get double paid for this now. We're getting contract work and we're going to be extras.
Extras, exactly.
We're so set for our next few mysteries that we want to solve, guys. We're funded.
We got gas money home, y'all.
Yeah. That is their next mystery. How do we make it home?
Right, Daphne refuses to call her parents for money.
She's like, I'm independent. I don't need them. We're starting our own empire. So the team's first stop in their investigation is to the recreated mansion that you asked about earlier.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yes, was built as a set piece for the bulk of this movie's setting. Because again, it's based on the real story, the real cartoon story of this ape man who allegedly burnt down this mansion.
Allegedly, yeah.
So as they're wandering through this, honestly, like really, really well and convincingly built set piece of a mansion, like it looks like they really put a lot of detail into getting some of the inside, details right and the furniture and everything. And it's also very creepy and spooky looking. So perfect for a haunted or for a horror movie. Yeah. They're walking through this place and the gang very quickly stumbles upon a half-eaten burger sitting on a plate, a hamburger sitting on a plate on the floor. And now Fred, Daphne, and Vilma, they obviously have to stop Scooby and Shaggy from picking this thing up and eating it.
The evidence, they're going to eat the evidence. Yeah. I should have thought of that.
Yes, because they realize that it's a clue, it's evidence to this whole mystery. And so Shaggy is like, oh shit, you're right. And also, gross. Yuck, never mind.
Yeah.
So Vilma takes a closer look at this hamburger and notices that it has claw marks kind of like indented into it. As if it was held by an ape. Yes, like in the bun, exactly. Like something with claws was holding it.
Okay.
But obviously to them, that doesn't make any sense because as far as the gang knows, apes do not eat beef or hamburgers at all. So,
I mean, it's confusing. Where's the grill? Where did
How did they grill it? Did they pick it up from McDonald's? Did they
Right, yeah, it was this
DoorDash and didn't exist
yeah.
back there? Yeah, where how did it get this?
Okay,
but like
also
yeah,
questions.
it does not eat these things. Yes.
Yes.
So the gang is starting to be skeptical of this whole folklore, this tale that this is an actual monster, and they're like, yeah, I don't think this ain't no ape after all.
This ape. It's so hard to say. This ape ain't it. This ape ain't it.
This ape ain't no ape. Or this ape ain't it. Yeah. So the gang, they continue their search through this mansion, looking for more clues. But Freddy is also trying to remind everyone that the house was built for this horror movie, and therefore it's filled with all sorts of trap doors and everything that they need to keep their eyes out for.
Great.
And so the gang is looking through an old library set in this mansion. And Fred comes across something particularly strange considering the setting and like the situation. He finds a copy of the movie script laying out open on a table. Okay. And it happens to be open to the very scene that they saw JJ and the crew filming earlier that day on the bridge. Okay. Yes. So Daphne, everyone's interested in this, but everyone is also still rummaging through the room looking for clues. Yeah. And Daphne is just kind of like reaching around on the bookshelf. And of course, she unsupervised, she accidentally hits a button that triggers a trap door that opens behind Freddy, actually, and his chair, like, drops him back into this trap door and sucks him in and then just, like, closes back.
Oh, I thought the bookshelf was going to turn around and Daphne was going to spin and be the damn. Okay, no, now I'm actually more worried. Fred doesn't know how to be a damsel in distress.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
He doesn't want to get his ass got dirty, so he's nervous now. He's worried. He's like, it's dusty back here. I never get in the trap door. Yeah. My dad's going to be so mad if I come back with a dirty ascot.
Yeah.
It's a family heirloom. So, yes, Fred disappears right before the gang's eyes, and they try to leave to go find where the trapdoor sent Freddy, but they're interrupted, unfortunately, when the ape man bursts into the library room set and chases the kids and Scooby around for a bit.
Yep.
So Scooby, again, in full like security dog mode, he toughens up though, and he turns the tables on the ape man and starts chasing the ape man. Because I think he remembered like, oh yeah, I scared him off last time. Like, fuck it, I'll do it again. Yeah, I'm tough. Yeah, I think it's like the Hollywood spirit or something. He knows he's about to be
ready to be a star.
So exactly. He's like, I got to make a name for myself. Now's my chance.
Minutes.
Yeah.
Are the cameras on? Okay, let's go.
Everyone on. Lighting good. We're set. And action. He calls action himself. Rack friend, yeah. So yeah, Scooby, he chases the ape man upstairs and away from all of his owners. But the gang, they locate the rest of the gang, so Velma, Shaggy, and Daphne, who are still like downstairs, they find this like panel of buttons that appears to activate a variety of trap doors in this mansion. Okay. And they kind of just like start pressing a bunch of them until they find one that will lead them to Freddy and or get rid of the ape man for a second. Like, I don't know, maybe they can like put him through a trap door as Scooby's chasing him away or something like that to like buy them some more time. So eventually they press a button that actually causes the entire staircase to separate from the floor and rise up, revealing a secret tunnel that takes them into a new set room. Yeah. It's crazy. It's really cool.
For this film.
They spared no expense.
Is insane.
Absolutely insane. The hydraulics to make something like that work and like to be so clean and quick.
Yes, why don't you just build a set separately? Why do you have to actually have it underneath the stairs?
Yeah, I know. Like, I guess there's got to be a scene where they actually activate it because otherwise it doesn't make sense. Yeah, because it does basically lead them to the basement. But before they get there, so Scooby catches back up with them after like scaring off the ape man. Yeah. And when they open up this trap door that opens up the entire staircase, they see good old Freddy actually standing there right at the entrance of this tunnel, excited to tell the gang about all of the traps that he's found on the set while he's been like in this little hideout room that could be used to trap this ape and solve the mystery.
Okay, cool. Some recon in there. Nice.
Yes. So he actually was not a terrible damsel in distress. He's like, all right, well, I'm trapped. I guess I'll make good use of this. Let me find something to capture this ape with. Yeah. So they
Okay.
follow Fred, and he takes them down into the basement where the final scene of the film was to be filmed.
Oh, okay.
And the basement has like all this like set equipment out, like it's got big spotlights out. There are all these like
Uh-huh.
pulleys and everything for sandbags or just set pieces. And I
Hmm.
think at the end of the movie, the ape was supposed to walk under like a net that was then dropped on him or something like that.
Classic.
So there's a lot going on. Like it's very like active. Well, active if people were on its set, you
Yeah.
know? And so Freddie suggests that they use the nets and the pulleys and like a nearby trap door to capture the ape man. And once they capture him in the net, they'll turn on one of the spotlights to blind him. And then they'll drop him down a trap door to hold him until they can
Okay.
reach him and unmask and expose who he is.
Okay. Lots of steps.
Of course, yes. And there's one other step, though, to that, of course, is getting the ape man to the basement to that
Right.
trap.
Right.
And of course, Scooby and Shaggy are given that task as per usual.
Yeah, this makes sense.
Now, Shaggy and Scooby are able to find and lure the ape man into Mystery Inc.'s trap, but the gang, as per usual, they have all of they get wires crossed here, right? Some of the trap plan components get lost in translation.
It's too complicated, yeah.
It's too complex. Fred got, I think, a little too excited about all the equipment that they could use.
He's like, we're
here
using everything on set.
Yeah, we have to. We can't just use one thing. This is my only chance.
I want to use spare no expense here either.
Give me all the toys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of springing the trap on the ape, Vilma accidentally turns off the lights and pulls the lever on Shaggy, trapping Shaggy in the net. And in the darkness, the ape man was able to somehow make a quick escape.
Okay.
Once they get the lights back on, the gang searches the basement more and realizes, well, like the ape man couldn't have escaped from upstairs because we were blocking the only exit, but he's also not down here. So they look even closer and they find a secret door that leads to another tunnel. This place is just tricked out. This place is tricked out. Like there are tunnels on tunnels and trap doors and secret doors on secret doors.
Damn.
But this tunnel, it takes the gang through the mountain and back towards like the movie set outside. So like the actual outdoor set and the trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
But as they're making their way through this tunnel, they first realize like, okay, well, this is clearly how the ape man was able to escape because he didn't go upstairs, like we said. But also, this seems very similar to the cave that the legends of the ape man like claim the ape man lives in. So they're like the okay, this is like his dwelling ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they do get to the end of the tunnel and they realize that, like I said, they exit by the trailers and by the rest of the outdoor movie set. So Fred is like, okay, well, we're not that far behind the ape, so we need to start searching these trailers. Like he might be hiding in one of these. Which thankfully they realize that all these trailers are empty, I think, because all the cast is gone, because otherwise this could be very inappropriate.
Right, they just burst in.
Into changing trailers, or like dressing rooms and shit. And like, hello, is anyone in here?
Hello?
Like, so they split up and they do search like the first two trailers that are like right there by the end of this secret tunnel. And Shaggy and Scooby go into one of them and the other three go into another. And honestly, as soon as Shaggy and Scooby walk into the one they go in, as per usual, they just get immediately distracted.
Oh, no.
Just immediately distracted by like all the costumes and the wigs and the masks and everything, which also, well, I'll read it in this next line. They decide to have their own little Halloween party, basically, as a direct quote.
God, cute.
Which, for me, I was like, all right, cool. Check.
Halloween episode.
I checked all my boxes for confirming that this is indeed a Halloween episode. And they play dress up for a little bit, and they're just kind of like joking around, pretend like getting into character. I think Scooby actually finds like another ape man mask, and he puts it in and like is roaring and stuff and pretending to be a monster. And Shaggy also notices a cool little camera sitting on the dressing room table. And he notes to Scooby that it's one of those, remember, this is like 1969, I think, one of those new cameras that develops a shot in like a minute or less, basically.
Oh, funny. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he picks up the camera and tells Scooby to like pose and act fierce for the camera because like Scooby's got the mask on, so he's just playing around and everything. And they're laughing, they're having a good time, totally forgetting that they're supposed to be catching this serial assaulter, or like this guy or this person, whoever is like attacking this set.
Yeah.
So they're laughing, but as Shaggy turns around to place the camera back down on the table, he notices a reflection moving in the mirror on the dressing room table, which would be horrifying.
No, even if there wasn't a monster. No.
Exactly. Because you're like, who the fuck is in here? Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Right,
like,
exactly.
So sorry that we were messing with your stuff. Like, please don't hurt us. He takes a closer look in the mirror and he sees that the reflection is that of the ape man. But the ape man does not have his mask on. The ape man, he's attempting to sneak out of the trailer and avoid capture. He doesn't think that Shaggy and Scooby see him in the reflection. Yes. But his face is also not facing Shaggy, so you can't see who his face is. You just see the back of his head, and he's in an ape suit.
Okay.
So Shaggy quickly picks the camera back up and says, like, it's the ape man, kind of jogging the ape man's attention. And as soon as the ape man turns around towards Shaggy, Shaggy takes a picture of the mirror, calls Scooby, and says, "We gotta fucking go."
Wow,
they book it out of there.
Also,
they
run.
Yes. So also a unique case of Shaggy actually being the one who figures all of this out and pulls through. So they're booking it out of there because they know now that any minute this picture is going to be done exposing, and they will be able to show the gang who the real ape man or who the ape man's real identity is.
Yeah.
So of course the ape man saw and heard all of this happen though. Yeah. So he's like, shit. So he puts his mask back on. Oh, God, I thought I was done with this. And he runs after Shaggy and Scooby, trying to get the camera from them and trying to stop them from showing that photo to anyone. But Shaggy and Scooby, they're super fast. As we've talked about on this. This is why they're always the ones who have to lure in the monster, because they're actually very fast and can escape the monster. So they reach the rest of the gang long before the ape man does. And they tell the rest of the gang that they got a picture of this guy without his mask on and that it's going to be developing in just a minute, but that he's also right on their tail. So we got to go right now. Bye. Yeah, and they just keep running.
Yeah. Good call.
So
no time
Freddy's
to talk.
sure, I believe you. Let's go. Okay. We're following them. So Freddy tells the gang to all run back to the mansion so that they can set another trap. I guess he's got ideas here.
He's got traps on the mind.
Have a backup. He's always trapping. Always ready to trap.
Trapping.
And he's ready to catch this ape man once and for all. So they run into the mansion. And of course, the ape man chases after them. Mm-hmm. And Freddy is standing near that panel of all of the buttons that trigger these various trapdoors throughout the building. And he tells everyone else to run upstairs, go all the way to the top, and don't stop. Uh-huh. The rest of the gang and the ape man are sprinting up these stairs full speed. And the gang is now safe. The ape man, he's on their tail, but he's coming up a few steps behind them. And right when the ape man reaches the top of the staircase, Freddy pushes a button. And it causes the stairs to all just flatten out and turn into a slide.
Classic.
Yes, you know it. You love it. And the ape man just slides down and falls down until the force of basically his momentum carries him down a hallway, and he continues sliding down that hallway until he crashes into a closet at the end of the hall and is trapped in all sorts of shit that landed on him in the closet. And he's probably got a few broken bones, so he can't move anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
So, since he can't move too, I also will take this moment to think of what could have been a very horrific but hilarious situation in a much more dark and macabre version of this show. Is if when they were going up the steps, they pushed the button to raise the steps, and as just smushes them into the ceiling. All
Wrong staircase.
Daphne and the rest, they're safe, they're clear, and press.
And as all their bones are destroyed.
Ew. It's matted ape costume fur and just bones.
JJ's gonna set that mansion on fire again and blame it on the ape man and be he struck again.
That's real.
Crazy that full set burnt down. I guess good thing we had insurance on it. And I hope we did on those kids. They
ape man strikes again. Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely not my fault that the kids were just solving this problem for me and died in the process. Crazy.
Crazy.
What? No.
Wild that happened. So, anyways, yes. I didn't do it. It's the monster. Yeah. It's cursed. So, yes, the ape man is now stuck and the gang is ready to unmask him. But actually, they don't need to because Shaggy's photo has also developed by now.
Nice.
And he looks down at the photo and says, well, this is the clue of all clues.
It reveals evidence.
And literally, yeah. Like, I don't know how you can get much clearer. Yeah. And it reveals who the ape man is. And Grace, going back to our good old roots with Scooby-Doo, yes. I'll let you guess. Would you like to guess who is in this costume?
I would like to guess. Let's review. We've got JJ, the director. We've got Carl, the actor, and Candy Mint, the actress. Carl and Candy Mint have noped out of there. And there's a couple rando crew members, but they weren't named, so I'm not going to consider them suspects.
Okay, so fair.
I'm going to tell you who I think it is, and then I will tell you why.
Okay.
I think that it's Carl. Okay. And I think this because one of my dear good college friends is named Carl, and he is an avid listener and fan of the show. So this is my chance to say that Carl was the villain here in this episode.
It was you, Carl.
And blame him for this. Yes, so I'm going to say Carl because of my Carl.
That. Okay.
Yes.
Fair. Well, you're right. Not for that reason, but yes, the ape man, when they pull off the mask and when they look at the picture, they see that it is Carl, the stunt man. Are you really?
Yeah, because I was like Carl, he was in the crate, he put himself there, but I was like, JJ, like, also could be a great one of, like, ruining his own movie. That's a classic situation.
Insurance fraud. Exactly. Yeah. We've seen that many times. That's
an extremely classic thing of the owner is the one who's behind it all. So I actually thought it was JJ, but I thought he was going to say Carl because my friend Carl.
I feel like that would have made more sense and it would have made for a more interesting episode.
Classic.
Both because it's Daphne's relative too, but also I think that's the reason why they didn't do that because it's Daphne's relative probably.
I forgot about that.
But it would have made more sense because to me, this is where the episode falls flat. Like I said, Mystery Inc. is awesome. You know, in this episode, like they're so funny. There's so many good jokes. There's so many actually good, like kind of jump scares or funny, like callbacks to classic horror movies that they use and like some of the ways that the monster is stalking them that are just chef's kiss. I love it. I enjoyed watching this episode so much. But when I remembered it was Carl the stuntman, I was like, he didn't have to do anything. He was in costume. This was his ape costume. Like it was the most obvious thing because it's like, the ape man haunting this set is the guy playing the ape man he is in an ape man costume. Right. And when they even found him in the trunk, he was in his costume. So
all you had to do was get back
someone
to
else
his trailer
had an ape man costume. Exactly.
Before
and
they
put
rushed
himself in there.
That was it.
Exactly.
And then to not listen to when they said cut.
Exactly. That's all he had to do. Which also then highlighted to me that, like, I mean, he didn't really do anything in the episode. Like,
right, true. I was saying, like, highlights that he's a good actor. That the director thought that the alien was real, and then shit talked Carl in front of him. You know what? You got. He was a good actor. You believed him. I didn't even think about that part. He proved JJ so wrong. Oh my gosh. And it makes it even funnier because, they get to his motive here in a second. So first I'll say they do capture him, obviously, and they either have him arrested or at least booted off the set for real this time. Yeah.
Because again, like I said, to our knowledge, all that he did was like maybe some minor property damage. Like, he shook some stuff. He maybe put a couple scratches in some things.
Yeah.
He did do a little bit of like assault, like, shaking the bridge with Candy and like, like definitely scaring people. So like there's maybe something there, but like, are you really going to press charges over that stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know. If anything, I guess it would be for like delaying the production and like losing the money, that kind of shit. But that's not a crime that he's going to be arrested for.
It has to be a contract breach or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like he'll for sure be sued by the studios. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's getting arrested. So they kick him out of there. And JJ basically explains to the gang that Carl's motive was that he was jealous that JJ wouldn't cast him as the lead actor. So he instead decided to sabotage the set and ruin the entire production, put the entire film to a halt, and probably is now blacklisted from Hollywood.
Ruining his career.
Like, not only are you never going to have the chance to be a leading man like you wanted, like he's probably tired of being casted as a gorilla man and a stunt man.
You're not going to have any job.
Now you're not even going to be a gorilla man in movies anymore because the last time you ruined the set.
You could have been discovered as this ape man and done an incredible job.
Exactly.
If he just worked hard. Right. Like you said, he didn't really do anything, as in, like, he didn't really put any effort in.
Any crime or, like, And
maybe lazy. That's why you're not the lead actor, because you're not putting any effort into
You're not
anything.
really dedicated.
Yeah. You're not really doing anything.
Yeah.
You're kind of lazy.
Yeah. Other people, they're going to put in more work. They're going to study their lines every day. They're going to actually really try to be the best they can be. They're going to show up on set ready to go.
You didn't even have a plan to ruin this until you realized that this movie was about a curse and you were dressed up as the curse.
Exactly. Yeah.
Damn.
You're like, okay, well, I guess I'll appropriate this town's history and culture and turn it into an insurance claim. Yeah, and like a personal vendetta. Cool. And that's the end. That's the end of the episode.
I mean, I guess what can they do? Not much.
Like,
Damn.
You sue him. That's it. So I mean, this is one of the cases where like no authorities are called, at least during the actual like main episode. They were earlier, just like reports of the dude on set, I guess, but we never see it. It literally is just an issue of like a disgruntled employee.
Damn. Yeah, I guess. Fire him.
Happy Halloween.
Get him out of Hollywood forever. Disgruntled employees.
The scariest thing of all, disgruntled employees. Yeah.
Wow, absolutely. Wow, that was very fun. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you. A lot of
I'm so excited. I feel like the stairs turning into the slide is so classic, and this was such an early episode of Scooby-Doo that I'm like, this was the origin story of that move? It feels like.
I think so.
Maybe I'm like, was this in movies beforehand? I don't know, but like, feels like this
maybe in some like Charlie Chaplin or like Buster Keaton thing, or I don't know, some old timey like stunt movie. But
for like
I will say
that kind of stuff, this feels classic.
Maybe. Yeah. But I will say too that a lot of the clips of like those trap doors and trap mechanisms from this episode are the ones that are used in like the opening and ending credits.
The original.
Like
okay.
So a lot of those, like the one when like Freddy falls like back into the trap door in his chair. I was like, oh my gosh, God. I know where I've seen that before. Okay. So it's funny to think like, a lot of them came from this episode.
Amazing.
Yeah. So iconic, especially like I said, the depiction of Mystery Inc. is perfect for Scooby-Doo.
Amazing.
But the villain, like, wasn't really a villain.
Imperfect.
And was hardly a monster. At the end of the day, it was a man dressed up in a costume, much like that you will see on Halloween. Thus concluding why this is my first Halloween episode.
Wow.
So
incredible.
Until Grace brings us another one next week, who, Grace, should the listeners and viewers tell about this podcast?
Well, can I say something first before I tell you that?
Yes. Oh, yeah. My bad.
This is mainly I'm going to have to like super cut this in. And this is for the viewers on YouTube. But towards the end of that episode, Bert and I recently discovered a new setting on our cameras to like really enhance things. But like it's like a portrait mode for those who have iPhones. But during the end of that episode, one of my dogs, Mako,
good. Okay.
Mako was in the background, and I was thinking about what we talked about at the beginning because Mako was moving, and we already call Mako like a little alien. He's like a demonic little creature.
He was like changing colors.
Flashing in and out. Yeah. And I almost interrupted Alexis, but I was like, I can't. She's like at the climax. So he was like being the demon in my camera that we talked about at the beginning of the episode, but it was me.
And not me
as the demon. So I'll super cut that in and, plug for our YouTube, everyone to come watch. Because right now you'll be seeing my alien dog.
Adorable alien dog.
As a ghost monster.
Waiting for...
He was like floating in and out of like focus in the screen. And it was
like
scary.
Low-key changing colors. Like he was going from more of a grayish to like his natural like white-ish hair color. And I was like, whoa. I did too, but I was like, I can't get distracted. I gotta stay on script.
I had to bring it up because we talked about someone behind you. So I needed to talk about that. And it was actually me, and it was my dog.
And the way that you brought that up did just really scare me. Like if you're watching this on YouTube, when Grace started talking about that, like you probably saw me look over my shoulder because I was afraid she was going to say she saw something in the darkness behind me.
You didn't tell me you had someone staying with you right now, right?
No. Literally. All right. So in between this podcast, Grace and I are going to work on that horror movie where we talk about that ghost hunting someone over their Zoom feed. Yes. But until we get that script finalized, yes, who should they tell?
You should tell someone named Carl this episode.
Well, it's easy for you.
Yeah, it's easy for me. He already knows.
Except he's already listening, so that doesn't count. I assume he's
else.
Listening. I hope he's listening.
Yeah,
hi, Carl, if you are.
I'm pissed if you're not. So I'll tell a different Carl, but tell someone named Carl. And after that, who else should our listeners and viewers tell about the show?
I think after that, you got to go take yourself down to South Florida.
Do it.
And you basically got to tell, and I wish it's a long name, so I keep forgetting what it's called. I'm literally scrolling through my script.
Skunkman History.
It's basically, it's like the historical, we're gonna find
Skunkman Historical Society.
The Skunk Ape Research Headquarters. My bad.
We're so wrong.
So bad, so wrong and off, because, the name sounds more serious than
Say it one
I
more
think
time.
It should. The Skunk Ape, good Lord, I shouldn't have minimized that again.
The Skunk Research Society.
The Skunk Ape Research Headquarters, again, located in Ochope, Florida.
Tell them.
Skunk Ape Research. It's also kind of hard to say. Skunk Ape Research Center. You have to really enunciate every syllable there.
Sorry that we made fun of your life work in this episode.
But I also think that we paid good respect to it as well and enjoyed it.
Send us some evidence.
Yeah,
I want to see some videos and pictures.
Or perhaps hook us up with some tickets for a tour. Or something.
Check it out. Prove us wrong.
Grace and I do a little girls trip down there. Exactly. Let us actually get on the ground and investigate with y'all.
Yes, get us into those Everglades.
Exactly. We'll see.
Yeah.
But
great.
Until we hear back from the Skunk Ape Research Center. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.